Good morning, everybody. Welcome aboard to the Morning Note. My name is Carlos Garcia. I'm the founder and CEO of Gar Capital. Doing it a little earlier than usual, the Morning Note. I do have to be at an appointment at 9:30. My wife's dental appointment. She asked me to go with her. So at 9:30, I will be gone. But that's all good. We have the team watching everything. So I'm up early, as always, looking at the markets, kind of giving you guys the briefing since I will be heading out for that dentist appointment earlier today. A little later today, excuse me. So let's go ahead and get started. Talk about some of the things I was watching or I am watching this morning. As you know, a little different. Thinkorswim. You could see Charles Schwab. The acquisition has been done in terms of the transferring of everything. So everything looks great. Nothing has really changed other than this used to be green. Now it's blue. So other than that, watches are the same. Alerts are the same. Looks very seamless. It was just over the weekend. So kind of put a little bit of a dent of some of my plans to do videos and stuff because it was still updating. And since everyone else was updating, so I was like, you know what? I'll just do a video on Monday and go from there. I also did a note on the um, Discord for our options members on their watches and charts. I did a whole deal talking about the market and what I see for the upcoming week. So again, none of this is really new into what the expectations are. But again, we can go over it again as always. So let's go get started. Again, this is not live. No live video today, but here we are doing the work. Dow futures are up 30 points. The Nasdaq's up 58 with the S&P up 0.19 and the Russell up 0.49%. And again, I just want to go ahead and reiterate the fact that again, we do have a bigger week than we did have last week. Last week was very, very quiet. Tuesday, Wednesday were the lowest in terms of volumes in the S&P since 2021. So again, a very, very quiet week. This past week, again, nothing special. One for one. Again, the streak continues. We got 8 in a row. We had DAL calls, hit 40%, hit as high as 45. Looks like we got out at the right time. So well done. DAL is still going to go to 55, in my opinion. Again, the idea is to get our signal members paid. And that's kind of what my job is. And that's what I want to continue to do. Keep streaking, keep getting winners, and then everyone gets paid and everyone's happy. And then I'm happy, of course. So keeping it moving. Crude oil is up 0.56%. Again, we got some energy exposure. As we know, gasoline futures 0.67%. Gold is down 1.2%. I'm bullish gold this week because of CPI. CPI is on Wednesday. I expect that to be weaker, come in less than expected. That's just my opinion. So I think stocks have a leg higher. I think 5,300 is pretty much where we're going to go. And I believe, with that being said, with that inflationary data coming a little weaker, we do have CPI tomorrow. So we have the producer price index on Tuesday, the CPI on Wednesday. 5264 is looking like it's going to break again when it comes to today's action, since we have all this stuff coming up in terms of the CPI on Wednesday, PPI tomorrow. I think today will be more of a positioning day. We'll see what we can get, but for the most part, everything is preparing ourselves for what's to come. So I want to go ahead and give out a list of things that I'm watching this week. I also wrote this for our options members. So again, if you're an options member, you don't need to write this down, or if you do, go for it. This is what I'm kind of bullish on this week. I'm bullish on growth stocks. That'll be small caps. That'll be high betas. Bullish on the semiconductors, banks, of course, gold, but gold is down today. And I like bonds. I think bond yields fall further. And I think this CPI should give us a little bit of that, okay, time to cut now, kind of at the perfect time where the labor market, at least the perception is that it's getting a little weaker. So kind of right on schedule. Neutral. What am I neutral on this week? Oil, even though oil is up today, and that's a good sign. Again, I do have energy exposure. I'm neutral on VIX because it's very oversold. And again, it is up 6.29%. And that's even with the stocks being higher. So again, the volatility index, maybe we're getting some insurance buying ahead of the PPI and CPI. Makes a lot of sense. So again, don't be surprised if the VIX is spiking up today. Again, ahead of these reports. That's basically kind of like your insurance. RSI on utilities. Again, I'm pretty neutral on utilities. Now, I'm pretty sure that utilities will go higher with the broader market, but it won't be a high performer. So again, they're sitting at an RSI of 80. So that's XLU. That's the utilities ETF. I'm bearish the dollar and been saying it. The dollar is down this morning. So at least I'm looking right today. So I drew a couple lines here, and you could see you got that wedge here, and I do expect us to break down below 105 and then get below 105.54. My target for the short term would be right around 101. you could say this until August or so. Again, this is what the caveat that the CPI comes in better than expected. And if it does come in hotter than expected, obviously the dollar is going to go higher and things will get pretty ugly pretty quickly. Let's do the TNX. This is 10-year Treasury yields. And I also drew a couple dots to kind of give us a little bit of an idea. You got an upward channel. Again, we're going to test that bottom end of that channel. 44 is what I'm expecting, 4.4%. Once we break that, then we're going to be on our way to get down to hit this level here, measured move of 3.816. Just get us back to rates where we were back in January. Doesn't seem like too crazy, but again, this upward channel looks like it's set to reverse and pull back, unless, of course, it breaks out, which I don't think it will. And you could see coming back down here. One thing missing here is that you do have a gap to fill at 47.76 on TNX. This is the 10-year Treasury yield. So again, technical analysis in terms of yields can be rather redundant, but here we are doing it. So that's where we are in terms of the macro in that sense of what I'm looking for. So 5,400 being my target. Again, I expect TNX to pull back. I expect the dollar to pull back. I expect equities to move higher. So that's what we're kind of positioned in. That's what I'm looking for the future. And if we look here on daily on S&P, again, all-time highs. I said this on the morning notes before, guys. You got the breakout out of this downward channel. It's starting to move higher. Let's go to NASDAQ and check it out. NASDAQ above major moving averages, breaking out of this downward trend here. And again, you could always retest, but it's looking like we're going to go higher. About 18,709 is the recent highs. That's what I'm targeting. We'll get there by the end of the year for sure, in my opinion. 2147. Give me a little more on RTY with the small caps. Call it 2100. If we can get above there, then I'm in. But until then, I think we're just on a holding pattern here on the Russell, even though I do expect a little more upside. Let's take a look at crude oil rather quickly. You can see crude oil bouncing off that trend line here, at least on the daily. So that's a really good sign. And I think that's what I got in my notes. I wrote it down, pretty much everything. Let's take a look at BAC. I know some of my guys, some of our guys got that, so they want to check that out. That is green this morning. We need to get above the recent highs of 38.78, 39. Remember, 40 is our target. CPI and PPI being a catalyst. Hold BAC. This is the only risk that we have for this week. So that's the only one we kind of have to be concerned about. XOM, I know this was a freebie for a lot of people, and for a lot of people who took it. So again, we're up this morning. Very nice. And we still need to get above 120. Again, we want to get out of this downward channel. Again, we want to break out of here. We're above the 20-day. Again, guys, you're still running that cup and handle. The good news is that we have until June. Still got a month. CVX breaking out of that channel. Lovely. So that's a really great sign. Get above 167.12. We're going to catch 170 rather quickly. I believe we'll get CVX this week for our members. FCX, I believe that'll get hit as well. That's up this morning. It's been very volatile. That's copper for you. 52.81, 52.52 being the highs, 52.81 being my alert. That's what I'm looking for. We'll get that this week. I believe we'll get BAC this week. ExxonMobil may take a couple of days. GSK, GlaxoSmithKline, that's a trade that we had before the end of the week being over. I still expect 46.97 to 47 to hit. It is flat this morning. So again, beautiful, beautiful trade for more upside. And we'll see if we snag that this week. Last week was very, very quiet. You can see the upward channel. At least we're not breaking down. We're still moving higher. And with a little luck, you can see with that yellow channel, that yellow trend line, we just got to break right here. 45.72. I'll place another alert there. By that point, we'll be already ready to go on our trade. So we don't have to be too concerned. But we'll keep that as a level to watch in general. Moving down further, gold being down, we know that. Copper is up. That's good. Dollar yen is green, 155.87. Dollar Canadian dollar up 38 pips. Pound dollar up 10. Bitcoin is up 3.32%. Ethereum up 2.24%. Again, we know that that's all with the dollar. So if the dollar does pull back, Bitcoin is going to move higher, and we'll see what we get. Right now, headlines are running pretty quietly. Let's go over a couple of them on the blog. If you're interested in the blog, make sure to take a look at the bottom scroll of the screen that you're seeing and get access to it. Just go to our website, www.gar.capital. We'd love to have you on board. It is free forever. Nvidia HSBC raises price target 1350 from 1050. Google slipped pre-market down 1.8%. On Apple is nearing deal to integrate OpenAI's technology into iPhone, aiming to equip its devices with artificial intelligence features. We sent that, I believe we shared that on Instagram this past weekend. Or was that Friday? Penn was downgraded by B of A Securities to neutral from buy, price target of 1750. Some of the names that are going to be reporting this week: Walmart, Home Depot. Notice a little bit of a focus on retail. Applied Materials, Alibaba, John Deere. You have Nucor. You also have Baidu and C Limited, excuse me. GME is up 19%. Roaring Kitty, if you guys remember what Roaring Kitty is, or what does that mean? Roaring Kitty was the GME squeeze. Do you remember this? 2021, anybody? Or was this COVID 2020? So it's up, it's back. Again, let's see where we go. So again, you got downward trend breakout. Pretty great timing, Roaring Kitty, or whatever his name is, the trader. Looks like 2805 is next resistance. Hey, you know what? Doesn't mean we can't take advantage either. Again, we're going to do it right. We're going to make sure that we have our plans. And really what we want is 2793. Now, I'm not going to chase this today. Absolutely not. But again, if you guys are willing to have fun and you could see this trend breakout, you're above the weekly 50. And on the daily, you're above the 200. That's a great sign. So we'll keep this on the radar. 2793 break for GME. We could target 35 up to 50 calls if we get a nasty squeeze. It looks like the backdrop is setting, guys. Have you noticed that? Kind of a replay of what 2020, 2021 was, in a sense. You get those high beta squeezes. They happen. Just be careful. Hopefully everyone's learned their lesson not to go all in on any of this stuff. Just take it step by step, guys, and you're going to be fine. So I know we got some risk on the board. In terms of options, I fully believe that we're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll get 4 of these trades, and that'll add to our streak. I'm very excited for it. So we'll see what we get. We're about 2 hours away from open. I will keep you guys updated on the Discord as always. Thank you so much for being patient with me doing this, watching this video a little earlier than usual. Again, just stepping out due to a dental appointment. Thank you guys. As always, I will see you guys tomorrow for the next morning note. Cheers all.